Welcome to That Didn't Work.
That didn't work.
Welcome to Urban Stars. I'm your GM and your host, Percy.
And I'm Mike, and I'm playing a Nemoidian by the name of Udell Ilvi.
I'm Daniel. I'm playing a human by the name of Caltane.
Howdy, I'm Rick, and I'll be playing a Verpine named Kuklik.
And I'm Jason, playing a human named Lukia, also known as Zerial Benassi Dinduptaniel.
Last time on Urban Stars, we wrapped up a really tense situation between Antenial Callus, who you guys might recognize that last name from the popular actual Star Wars franchise, and Lukia, our resident princess, Jason.
I mean, you're not wrong.
And Udell, we wrapped up that conflict between the three of them with Udell and Lukia both safely escaping from the casino, or the gambling house, rather.
Secret casino.
Every time I'm in a gambling establishment, I gotta run.
At least you didn't end up getting permanently injured this time.
Yeah, those are the fun gambler stories.
Yeah. Well, you
The
did
ones
end
where
up.
the gambler gets in, gets out, nobody gets hurt. Nobody cares about those stories.
Well, but he did go on a run at the table too. So
That's true. And then Kuklik had a force vision that kind of led him to another clue about how to utilize the crystal that you guys already have, the Rakatan artifact. And so I hope you're picking up on the fact that the people that I'm bringing into those rooms are Rakatans.
Yeah, yeah. We figured that out the first time.
Sure.
And I would have the night before we went to get the ship. I would have gotten with Callist and explained to him what I saw. You know, the different colors.
Sure.
And all that.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah, that's fine. We're gonna start over the Destiny pool with 4 and 4, 4 light, 4 dark, and we're gonna get started. George, the Junker, has just given you guys a ship for
Sold
13,000 credits. It's a pretty nice ship for the amount of credits you had to spend. He's doing it as a favor, and as he gave you the ship, he showed you a pin with the 3 swords on it that signified that he was also, in some shape or form, aligned with the resistance on Terrace. Now, you have a ship. You have an objective, but the ship is not space-worthy yet.
It will be soon.
It's got all the stuff. It's got all the parts. But you guys have to find a place where you can safely work on it. And there is no open workshop, workspace area that is professional in any capacity that's open and available to you.
And we have to leave here.
And you have to leave here.
Lukia, you were a ganger at one point, right? That's what I keep hearing.
Yeah.
You know any little shady shops down on the bottom sections of Taurus here that we can park this thing?
I mean, George was one of my few contacts that I had back in the Swoop Bite gang days. I mean, there's a couple other gangs that still run around, but I mean, getting in good with them would.
We got some credits.
We do, but you won't typically like the rough and tumble crowd. Plus, half of them are already in with us. So, and you know how the boys upstairs are cracking down on anybody who looks any bit suspicious, unless they're already aligned with them. So it'll be a tough play, but I mean, we could try to maybe see what we can find.
I need a place to work.
Well aware of that, Kuklik, but there's only so many places you can park a ship.
Is there any abandoned places on this planet?
I mean, we could always find out, and I'll ask around.
It seems it has what I need if I can find a place to work.
Knowledge Underworld or Streetwise? To think of a place.
I'm going to say, for you to have a place like this, you're actually going to have to flip a point.
That's fine. I was just how good of a space maybe will be based on a roll.
No, I think just flip the point.
Okay, I'll flip it.
Tell me what you know.
Okay, so I'll spend a few minutes thinking, and I'm like, I've got it. And then let's call them the junk monkeys, another rival swoop bike gang, kind of territory near ours. They've got an abandoned shop because they're down with us, but no one's picked up on their warehouse, so it's just big enough. Like, it's going to be a tight squeeze to get the ship in there, but I think that works.
I am used to that type of flying.
Okay, go ahead and roll me then. Could click a piloting space check.
Space or planetary?
Space, because it's a space vessel.
And how hard is the check?
It is going to be a red and 2 purples.
Ooh.
That's not good.
Well, that didn't work.
Yeah.
We just bought a ship and we crashed it.
Pretty much.
Well, one just straight up fail. One failure.
All right. So I'm not going to say that you didn't take off successfully.
Oh,
You're skilled
is that
pilot.
what? Oh, maybe
You're
I
still
have to
pilot.
do some repairs on it before we can take off.
No, you're able to get it in the air. You're struggling quite a bit. You're having to like pull this hose and that hose to get the energy going to the right spaces. It's
Seat
pretty
back lever.
bad off.
The seat back lever is broken, so you go to move and it like flying back and falling out
Do
of
you
the
want me
chair.
to do a mechanics check?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Starts falling up.
So yeah, you're kind of flying with one hand and yanking out cables and re-inputting them with the other hand, trying to keep everything on and moving. And you're moving fairly slowly for the vessel that you are. You know this should be a fairly fast ship. I mean, it's not a racer or anything. It's no Millennium Falcon, but it should be able to get you places quicker than this. So you're basically hovering over and just barely at that. The undercity of Terrace, and you eventually make it to, what was the gang's name?
The junk monkeys.
The Junk Monkeys old home base, and you're able to, as you approach, you guys don't even have to send anybody down. The roof entry opens up for your ship, which makes you think someone might be there. And on your way in, you kind of run into one door, run into the other door, and you wind up breaking the doors to where they will not close over your top.
Oh, looks like I have more repairs to do than just the ship.
So I go to the gantry exit of the ship, and kind of I've got my blaster drawn and the sword out, like both hands, like looking around, just kind of poking my head out, like.
Okay, so we haven't landed quite yet.
Oh.
At this point, as you're kind of coming in, you hear a voice come over the comms. Watch where you're going.
This ship is very hard to handle right now.
Are you sure you're a pilot?
I am a very qualified pilot, sir.
Qualified by who? Not by me.
No, sir, I don't recognize your authority to qualify me as a pilot, but the proper authorities have qualified me to operate most space and terrestrial vehicles.
And you hear somebody banging on a desk over the comms. I am the head engineer of the monkey gangers. Go Junk Monkeys.
The gangbangers? What the?
The Junk Monkeys.
Oh,
You're in my garage.
is that a new species I am not familiar with?
Do I hear him over the comms? Hey, Larzit, it's Lukia. I know you know me by name, if not by reputation.
His name is actually Derip.
Oh, Darip?
It's a rip.
I'll say Derip Larzit.
Works for me. It's Lukia. Can we at least park this thing here for temporarily and talk?
Why do you think I opened my garage for you? I just wish I could close it now.
Well, we'll get our lead engineer on that right away, and I give him like just this stare of like.
That would be me. Nothing to worry about.
I just kind of mouth, keep your mouth shut.
Just fix your ship and get that power supply.
I do not have a mouth.
We need
to
it
shut.
down below quickly. I'll fix the garage.
All right.
Okay.
So you land the ship successfully, and
I don't have to roll for that.
No, you don't have to roll for that. You're good. And as you guys exit, a kind of dark purple with bright red spots, a very ugly, very fat Mon Calamari walks out to meet you. I can't believe you did this. I trusted you to come. I opened my space for you, and this is how you treat it.
I am truly sorry, sir. Drip. And you are a a junk monkey?
The junk monkeys is my gang.
Oh, you are not a
Insect.
junk monkey.
No, you... He kind of pats himself on the head. You can see what I am.
I do not know what you
Our
are,
people
sir.
have traded for centuries.
Oh. I have not seen one of you before.
So yeah, you would actually have, you would know, like, you've got some good relations with Mon Calamari.
But I'm
because
from a
they're-
secret base, so I didn't.
Sure, but you've done
Okay, fair
because especially because you specifically are one of the like outriders and traders, and like
Gotcha.
you take ships out to pick up supplies and things like that.
And you're a mechanic.
And you're a
And I'm a
mechanic.
mechanic.
Like you would be familiar with, you know, some of the most avid and popular shipbuilders in the galaxy.
That would be
So,
true. Okay.
you would know what he is.
Okay, fair
so,
enough.
And he would know that you would know it, so he thinks you're making fun of him.
No offense intended, sir.
It's all right.
But-
I think everybody's on edge right now.
Oh, Drip, what do we got to do to make this right?
Don't bring me a power supply so I can fix things down in our new base.
We're working on it.
If you guys can bring down that fuel cell, everything will get infinitely better.
Can you assist me in repairs on this ship?
Well, unfortunately, I've got to go work on the doors, because if the Empire sees you down here, we're all toast.
Yes. Of course, they do not know we have this ship.
No, but they do know that this place is abandoned.
Not anymore. Okay.
All right, so go ahead and make a just kind of an abstract mechanics check. In general, we'll see how much stuff you're able to repair and how quickly. The check itself is going to be a hard check, so 3 purples.
My intellect's not that bad. Can I go ahead and give him a boost, just helping him out with some oddball? things here and
Absolutely,
there?
yeah. You can. In fact, you guys can all like be his helper monkeys. I know normally you can only do 1 assist check, but because it's kind of an abstract role, you can add a boost in for each of the allies that's here with you.
I was just gonna say I could be some hired muscle. I've got 4 brawn, so
Yeah, I mean, you probably won't run into anything that you'll need that for right now, but I guess like for lifting and things like that.
yeah, no, and that's
I
what
see
I
what
was
you're
saying. Like,
You're like,
hold,
what,
hold that quarter panel in place. Okay,
like 5'2" and absolutely jacked.
I told you she is 5'3" and absolutely jacked.
It's like
Okay. So am I repairing system strain and what
it's
am I?
abstract.
Just
You're
abstract.
this
It
is
will-
basically like
it depends because I get boosts and things depending on what.
add in whatever boosts you have.
Yeah, well, mostly it's just actually mostly what I'm doing is removing
We
setbacks.
We
so.
also gave you boosts.
Each
Okay.
one, you get a boost
You
for
get a
each
boost
one
for
of
each
us.
person
For each
that's
person.
helping you. Yep.
All right.
And it's a hard check, so 3 purple. And I'm going to spend a dark side point to upgrade it once.
Rick, it's already amazingly good check. Like if you bomb this, we will laugh, but we won't hold it against you.
A triumph yet again. And
You make it sound like, dang it.
go.
Getting so bored of all these triumphs.
Well, actually, yeah, because the only success I have is the triumph, and I got a so that's what I've got. So I've got 4 advantage, a triumph, and no success.
A success because the triumph counts.
Well, but
Right,
he's got
but I've
cancel
got-
it out.
Failure.
I got a failure,
Oh,
too.
you still got another failure in there?
Man, oh man. Okay, so
Wow, a triumph with 4 advantage, but no successes, no failures.
yeah. So you work for hours on this thing. Eventually, you're able to kind of piece where everything is supposed to go together. You're not used to this style of ship. It's very different from the ones you're used to flying and working on. So you struggle for a while on it. But eventually you get everything to where it kind of needs to be. You find out where it's all supposed to go, and you're able to put everybody to work on putting it all together. But it takes y'all a solid 16 hours to get everything done. And that's with no real breaks to eat or anything like that.
Okay.
And so the failure is more in the timing than it is in actually putting it all
Is
together.
in putting it together.
Yes. But your triumph, what would you like for it to be?
Well, because someone came up in our storyline that there was going to be a stealth device
yes.
on the ship. I would say that in my repairs, I find said stealth device on the ship and am able to activate.
Okay. Sounds good.
Unless someone else has a better idea.
Yeah,
It
I mean,
just
I
seems
think-
narratively that would.
I think because you already that's on the list, that was something that somebody put out there.
So you've already
You've
got
already
that.
got it.
Okay.
It's easy for you to find.
Can I find that it actually has shields on it? That it does not list, but it is a mod that I could put on there that it has shields.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can have a shield mod, whatever that is.
Okay.
That's ready to be installed.
Right. It's part of the kit that somebody had gotten
Yes.
already gotten the mods.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. And it says I can install those in half the time.
Cool.
So
That works. Yeah.
okay. Because that's one of the
Excellent. So it takes you guys nearly a full waking day to get all this done, and you had already been awake for a little while and had a very short night's sleep the night before. So it's kind of, do you guys want to rush up? Do you guys, or I guess you still have to do a little bit more planning. You have to get these permits and stuff like that. So the ship is repaired.
Luki is going to look at everybody else and I'm already dog tired. I'm like, y'all just want to crash here? I mean, did Derip fix the shutters?
Derip fix the doors, and they're closed now.
Okay.
They're a little dinged up, but other than that, they work. So yeah, everything is repaired. The ship is, in fact, ready to go, and we're on to now. Udell has to go get some mining permits from a certain someone, and you guys need to get the mining gear. I think Cal needs to do that. I believe.
Well,
Or is
I
that
was that was me. I was
Okay.
going to use black market contacts to figure out some mining gear.
Okay, cool. So those are the next two things that need to happen on the list, is getting those two. And so basically you guys can help. You help click to that. You guys are going to sleep the night away and wake up, and that's going to be your next sort of objective. So who wants to play theirs out first? And Cal, who are you going to go with?
I'll go with Udell because figured because of the black market contacts, he doesn't want anyone else telling him.
Well, honestly, Luki has seen sense of, after the way things went down, basically with the way the heat is right now with everybody, it's actually better to, like you said, stay in a large crowd. So I'm just going to be the muscle that goes with him, but I'm not going to be inside the building with him.
Okay.
I'm going to be just kind of on patrol outside. So
you're going to go with him?
I definitely.
Okay, you guys are going to stay together.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we're going to kind of montage these roles. We'll role play Udell yours a little bit more because you've kind of invoked that relationship, and I think that's fun. But for the most part, we're going to montage through these things to get to flying the ship.
Thanks, Percy. I apparently have to flirt with the GM.
Yeah, it's weird.
So
You do that a lot.
So real quick, do you want us to get the mining gear first then and just montage that out?
I think we should probably.
I think
get
having the
permit
permits first makes more sense to get
'Cause
the gear.
If we roll a bunch of despairs on this and don't get it, then we just got mining gear for no reason.
Well, it's not no reason. You just don't have permits. You're already getting fake permits.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're getting permits. They just may not. They may be in the mail while we're doing our mission.
All right, cool.
We'll get them printed.
So you know that she works in the Middle City, primarily. You had been invited to visit her at some point in the future and had never really taken her up on that.
Yeah, now it's about 2 years later.
Yeah, it's 2 years later, which is going to make this conversation a little bit more awkward, but I think she will likely remember something about you. So.
She's married with 8 kids now.
Boy, that's a
married 2
breeder.
years.
She's
In
married
2
to
years, that's a
George.
breeder.
She wasn't really like flirting with him at the collapse. It was more like, thanks, and you're a hero, so come visit sometime. It was less like, you know,
I know,
you guys turn it into whatever you want. You're role playing this.
and you aren't.
No, well,
No, you're stuck with our role playing.
yeah. I'm just having to spin gold out of yours.
Let me just move the microphone over here a little bit because this is probably going to go wrong.
No, we'll be fine, Mike. I think that we're both comfortable enough in our personas to do this. So you guys head to the Middle City, and of course you're disguised. You have to be. I mean, your names are plastered. Your faces are plastered everywhere. So describe for me what you look like in this endeavor. Cal, let's start with you. How do you disguise yourself to go to the Middle City?
I really only just took off the helmet portion because the other parts of my uniform have been kind of just all. It's been like custom made.
Sure,
and, like, a bunch of different details.
Which is
onto
why
it.
I think that will be easily recognized and that you'll need a disguise. Especially because the Storm Commandos that you know are on planet.
Well, that's what I was saying. Is like he customized it after joining this group. So like all they know is that he probably just ditched the armor, and then this to the normal looking eye is just laminate armor without a helmet, so you can't really.
Okay, I'll buy it.
Looks like scrounged up laminate
Yeah,
armor.
it looks like if some like mercenary went and found like this armor, then yeah.
Bought it from the Imperial surplus store.
Yeah, gave it their own little twist on
I'm
it.
going to look like a typical Duro. I'm going to change my skin color a little bit from the, the game night there. And
Are you gonna go with a slightly different accent?
yes, but what Udell looks like is, if you go back to like the Star Wars cantina scenes where you see the Duros, that's almost like a makeshift kind of flight suit kind of thing.
Sure.
So it's kind of playing the part of I'm a working guy.
Yeah, you're here for permits.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And
Lukia, since she's kind of not going to go in and can't be really seen anywhere with any sort of empirical control, she's just more on Overwatch. She's going to find maybe like a pub or bar or something across the street or near enough by with an open comm channel to click. And
getting into the Middle City, like
but I'm just describing. I'm not going to interject in the scene unless I'm brought in.
I see.
But all I've other than my pit crew coveralls underneath is I've got like a robe and a full hood, and I'm kind of trying to look frail and old. So
okay, going for the old elderly ruse.
yeah. Warm enough for you?
No, my button keeps unflapping. On my hat.
That's it. I'm not flirting.
It's probably a good thing. Really good plan. Okay, cool. So you guys make it into the Middle City area. Go ahead and roll me a group deception check to get through successfully. Difficulty is going to be average, just 2 purple.
I got this, guys.
Well, but it's a group
But half
check.
of you have to pass for y'all to get through.
All right. 2 success. There we go.
3 success and an advantage.
Cool.
2 success, 2 threat, though.
That's all right. Just take a couple strain. You're already in a pretty tense situation, and you're even more tense because of who you are.
And the situation that's been playing out recently, like within the last 24 hours.
That's right.
Is it still my obligation proct?
Yes. Until the end of this arc,
Just making sure.
your obligation's going. So, actually, you know what? Let's say that that's resolved. Yeah, you resolved you successfully subverted it. So let's go ahead and everybody bump your strain up to full again. You no longer have the temporary reduction of 2.
And me 4.
Yeah. Cool. So you guys get into the middle city and you move toward this this kind of liaison's office. You've kind of kept relatively good track of where this official works, and I don't think we ever gave her a name.
No, we didn't.
Let's call her...
Is she human?
She is, of course. She's an Empire official. We'll call her Sindel Looney. Looney.
So if she was a musician,
Or a crazy person.
well, she'd be Looney Tunes.
All right. So you approach her office, and she is at this point a city planner. Essentially, she kind of maintains the general infrastructure and architecture and building projects around the city.
Okay.
Which have been a lot since the collapse has still not been fully restored from what Kuklik did to it.
You just have to throw that out there every time, don't you?
I have to.
So let me explain what I'm doing here.
Okay.
I'm going to walk up and kind of under the guise of I want to see if she recognizes me.
Okay.
But more or less it's just I'm there. I'm just going to say that, I need a little help navigating these forms. I'm trying to get a permit so that if you're a new startup company so that we can, go up to the moon and do some exploratory mining.
Okay.
But I'm really trying to gauge if she's recognizes me in this disguise.
Okay, so are you trying to deceive her, or are you just trying to see how much she notices?
I'm trying to see how much she notices.
Okay, well, let me roll and see how much she notices. What is your deception?
My deception is 3 reds and a purple.
No. She doesn't recognize you, but she got 2 advantage, so she likes what she sees.
That sounds like I rolled the advantage.
Well, maybe you don't know what she's looking for.
All right.
The goodest boy.
Miss, I'm trying to find some paperwork here to see if we can get some permits to do some exploratory mining on the moon. It's you I have to check with, is that correct?
She looks up from the books that she was tending. Which moon?
The big bright one in the sky?
There are lots of moons for Terrace. Terrace has many moons.
ZX45B?
I like that moon name. ZX.
Sure, we'll go with ZX49B.
Sure, okay, fine. Now I gotta actually write it down.
You asked for it.
I already told you guys it's the rogue moon.
Oh.
Well, maybe she can correct me.
ZX49B.
No, just kidding. She'll take ZX49B. That's the essentially it's an asteroid. You think that there's... You want to mine on it? She's clicking away on her data pad.
Absolutely. We seem to think that like a lot of these asteroids, there's some minerals, there's some things that we could make some credits on. It's close. And
okay, here, she turns the data pad toward you. There are 34 forms that you have to fill out in order to start the process of gaining mining permits. And then it's going to be another 3 or 4 months before we can guarantee your access.
3 or 4 months. Wow. Is there a way we can expedite that a little bit? Maybe for a old acquaintance?
I'm sorry, I don't know you. And the only possible way that you could get in earlier than that is going to be if it's an emergency imperial decree, and I don't think you have that.
No, I don't think I have that, but I do know that there was an emergency that did take place a while back. I seem to recall a young lady that looked just like you, and if I remember her name, it was Sindel? And she happened to be down on the lower terrace when there was a collapse. Is that ringing a bell?
It is. I'm glad you can read the news.
Yes, but the news didn't say that there was a gentleman that helped you. Specifically you.
Well, no, it didn't. But what's your point? I really do have to get back to work.
Well,
she really just doesn't, right? She rolled a lot of failure.
I think there was a invitation for a meet and greet that was extended to a certain individual. I know time has passed, and there's been a lot of crazy things that have happened, which unfortunately has kept me in business down on the lower rungs of the city.
I see. Well, I don't really know. I mean, yes, there was a very helpful Nemoidian that helped me up, but...
Udell?
Well, I didn't catch his name.
So...
Wipes his face. I'm him.
I know.
So, it seems to me that you might possibly owe this Udell a favor.
Okay, I think that you'll have to roll some kind of negotiation, kind of put some pressure into the situation at this point.
Okay. Against what?
It's going to be against her discipline, which is going to be 2 reds.
Yeah.
She didn't get here by saying yes to everything.
Well, I did get 2 successes and 2 threats.
She's getting noticeably more frustrated with you, but she gets the sense that you're kind of implying that you are a Nemoidian when in fact you very much look like a Duro. But there is a little bit that's kind of off, where Duro normally have kind of a reddish tinge to their eyes. You've got more of a green and blue. More in the vein of the Nemoidians. And she starts to kind of pick up on that, and she says, you see her kind of begin to almost visibly sweat. She gets very, very concerned all of a sudden. As people do when they're being, deceived and suddenly find it out.
So I'm just gonna play this a little closer to the vest here. The holovids were saying that they were looking for certain individuals, and it's kind of, I have to keep up a different appearance every once in a while because I don't want to be mistaken for those individuals. It's life of not being a human in this galaxy at this point. But we know each other.
We do, and I think that might be unfortunate for you.
And why is that?
And you see her hand drifting toward her kind of comm button that's on the desk.
My dear, I don't think you need to do all that. I'm just simply here trying to make a living.
Yes, but you're... And you get kind of like she's holding something back at this point. But she's also not touching the button.
Anyway, okay. So, what do we have to do to rectify this?
I don't know what you mean.
You're obviously a little skittish on this, but what do I have to do to get the permits here? I mean, I can help you out in a couple of different ways. Maybe, help with the paperwork, or, pay the fees that would be needed for all this.
Roll me a perception check.
Well, that's okay. No, it's cunning. I'm good. Against what?
Just an average check. Just 2 purple.
So, 1 success and 2 advantage.
You see on her desk, to the left of the data pad that she's currently working on, there's another data pad. And on this, it's kind of like an application for employment to kind of the terrace version of the Peace Corps. And you see that she's about halfway through filling it out. She's kind of on the first of the several signature pages on that.
Okay.
You get a sense that she's caring a lot less about the money and more about the people of Terrace.
Okay. Wow.
He's not making this easy.
No, he's not. He's throwing a big old wishbone choice in front of me.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So, you look like you might be in the market for a little bit of a different job there. I'll kind of tap the data pad that she's working on.
Oh. I'm sorry. Nobody's supposed to see that, and she flips it over.
So, I take it we're not happy with the imperial rule of law right now? What's going on?
They're just people that need help. That's all.
Of course.
I spent so much time in the lower city over the last few years that it's become unbearable for me to just sit back and watch.
So, I guess let me be on the level with you. We're needing these permits because we need to be able to take what we can from the asteroid to bring it down into the lower city. Obviously, it's been very difficult for me to get up here. So now we're looking at, we have to take care of the people that are down there. The only way we can do that is to have finances. And right now the Imperials are squeezing us, as you can see and you've probably seen. We can't even get good building materials when half of the wall is still crumbled down there.
All right, go ahead and roll a negotiation check. 1 red, 1 purple this time, but you get a free upgrade.
That would be 1 success, 3 advantage.
All right. I really shouldn't do this, but I'm leaving tomorrow, and at that point, who'll care? So she brings over kind of a full-on computer system and begins clacking in on the keyboard, typing in several things, and It takes her a good while, like 17, 18 minutes to get through all of this paperwork, but eventually she's able to print out a data stick, and hand it to you. You shouldn't be bothered as long as you have this. It's only for a few days.
Any window's better than no window.
As soon as they pick up on what I've done, you'll be hunted. But
you'll have to change color.
But I've also put in your paperwork for the official documents, and well, it shouldn't take you much time. I mean, it'll be a few months, but you can at least get a project started.
Well, thank you. This will go a long way.
What was the name of the company again, just so I make sure that everything is outlined correctly?
Hope.
Very Star Wars-y of you. Cheese ball Star Wars.
Yep, cheese ball Star. Well, I could go with Herbo.
Okay, cool. So she collects all that in and hands you this data stick. And
so this is the old Hope to the new Hope?
That's right. So you're able to move on your way. So we'll kind of montage into getting the mining gear. Lukia has a contact that she's been able to put you guys in with, and you guys get all of that pretty seamlessly. You have to spend another 1,000 credits getting everything that you'll need to dig through, but you guys earned that pretty sufficiently already, so no worries on that. Kuklik already found the disguise panel on the ship and successfully turned it on and transmitted it. You guys have fixed everything on the ship. You're able to take off in that. So I think let's cut off the session a little bit earlier than normal this time around, because I would like to, when we come back next week for kind of wrapping up this whole thing, I would like to do it all in one major, like maybe even a little bit longer than an hour, to just wrap everything up in a nice tidy little bow of getting this fuel cell done, if that's cool with you guys.
Perfect.
Okay.
Awesome. So thanks so much for listening to Well That Didn't Work and joining us on Urban Stars. We hope you guys had fun listening and keep on adventuring.